Let's take a brief look at the John Wick Heists DLC. This was the 13th paid heist DLC released for Payday 2, and adds contracts based on the action movie series John Wick. Now, I love the first John Wick movie, but at the time of making this video, I haven't been able to go out and see the sequel. However, as far as I'm aware, the heists don't directly tie into the plot of the movie, so that's not a big issue. We've got 2 single-day heists in this pack. Let's start with Brooklyn 1010. Basically, the concierge of the Continental Hotel from the John Wick films, Sharon, who by the way is portrayed by the actual actor, Lance Reddick, was ambushed during a goods deal and needs Wick and the gang to free him. The crew heads to Brooklyn and quickly takes out the gangsters moments before they would execute Sharon. In case it wasn't obvious, this heist can only be accomplished in loud. You and your crew need to cover him while he makes his way to you by killing any cops, gangsters, and snipers that are trying to take him out. All the while dealing with a SWAT team up in the apartment building with you. After Sharon realizes the lift to your floor is out, he'll ask your crew to try and pry the doors open and zipline down, but not before grabbing a metal briefcase, which contains whatever Sharon was delivering. This case is locked behind a gate that can only be drilled open, and is stashed along with 4 bags of weapons that can be optionally brought along for extra payout. Nearby this gate will be a weaker gate that can be drilled, sawed, or blasted open, containing a cache of ammo to refill your weapons. Equipped with the briefcase and a crowbar located in one of the cages or just lying around somewhere in the apartment, zip on down and meet up with Sharon. Now the lot of you have to fight your way past NYPD to reach your escape van. This assault is never ending, so be sure you're prepared. There are 2 main routes to reach your escape here, one being a direct route through an alleyway. This is your faster option, but be careful. If you take too long to get through here, the everlasting police spawns riddled throughout the Brooklyn back alley will send you into custody before you know it. The slower but safer route is a set of 2 doors nearby that can be picked open, providing more cover and a safer trip to the heist's finale, so to speak. Of course, if a player has brought a SAW or C4, this route becomes objectively your best option, as it will be both faster and safer than the alternative. Finally, your crew, accompanied by Sharon, will fight back the swarm while waiting for Twitch to drive his van in. After moving aside some police transportation to make a way for the escape, your lot can book it out. If you are brave enough to slowly carry the bags of weapons all the way from upstairs to street level, this is also where you'll drop it all off. So this heist is actually very straightforward. Kill people, move to the next area, kill people, move to the next area, kill people, leave. That's really the gist of it. That's not a bad thing per se. My biggest problems with this heist come from 2 missing elements: variety and cover. Payday maps are known for their variance, RNG elements that can make the same heist play differently across multiple playthroughs. The only majorly varying element in Brooklyn 1010 is the location of the gate you're required to drill. Most of the other elements are stagnant. As for cover, there's just not enough of it. Cops spawn from every nook and cranny on this map and will swarm quickly to your location. There's often nowhere to hide from the onslaught of lead save a tiny staircase you can hide under in the second part of the map. The majority of this heist is problematic in regards to cover, however the finale is where this problem really shows through. There's pretty much no effective cover here, and you're required to move out into open areas multiple times to escape. You can't just hide out and wait for the assault to blow over either. The wave is infinite. Without abusing Swan Song and or Inspire, it's nearly impossible to complete this heist on higher difficulties. Despite its problems, I still like this heist. Preventing an assassination in New York is a change of pace and objective, and it helps that I'm a huge John Wick fan. All in all, a neat yet problematic endeavor. Next up is the Yacht heist, a stealth-only outing. As a thank you for saving his life, Sharon tipped us off to a fundraising event on a yacht hosted by Bob McKendrick, the politician that we helped get elected back in Election Day. Since then, he's backstabbed us by cracking down on crime and helping get Captain Winters established. Obviously, the crew is more than ready to help take that slimy ball bag down. The yacht he's campaigning on has several bags of illegally obtained cash smuggled all throughout the rooms. McKendrick was to use this cash for his re-election campaign, but we're going to prevent that by quietly sneaking the cash away, along with a hard drive filled with passcodes to several of his offshore bank accounts. Sharon doesn't know exactly where the money is, just that it's hidden on the yacht. So Bane directs us to a laptop with the location of the stashes. Basically, the screen will display a color name matching that of a QR code sitting next to the laptop. That's the color tag you're looking for. There are also 4 different floors listed, some with names of objects the money will be stowed in. You have to use this information to locate the money. For instance, if the tag reads blue lower floor fridge, you'll head downstairs to the lower floor, find the kitchen, and open the fridge marked with a blue QR code. This cash can be cached in food carts, aquariums, bookshelves, lifeboat containers, and so on. When you find the money, bag it up and hurl it over the side of the ship. Yeah, you just drop it into the sodding ocean. Twitch is quietly sailing around the edges of the yacht, picking up any valuables you toss over. If you're inside of a room instead of on an open deck, find a window, open open it up and dispose of the cash that way. There's also a few artifacts around the place to secure if you're interested. After all of the money is safely off the yacht, you'll head to the security room to get the hard drive. It's locked away behind a secure door, so the plan is to overheat the server bank to trigger a failsafe and automatically open the casing. Turn off the 4 cooling valves, being cautious to dodge security lasers, press some buttons, nab the hard drive, and escape. This heist is pretty short. It can be beaten in under 10 minutes without much trouble. However, that doesn't stop it from being one of the best designed stealth heists in all of Payday 2. The yacht is symmetrical, the layout is near identical on either side. This means that there's almost always another way around to reach your destination, if there are guards or civilians blocking the path you were going to take. There aren't any cameras at all, which is an interesting choice, but it makes the entire atmosphere of the heist much more composed in a way. Without the incessant beeping of cameras starting to detect you, I find this heist to be much more relaxing. This is helped along by the fantastic piece of music, White Collar Crime. Simon does it again, and this song is not only catchy, but dynamic. The further along you are in the heist, the more instruments will be added to the piece. And if you ever go loud, which gives you a short period of time to bail before you'll fail automatically, the song just goes nuts. A decidingly interesting change is that this heist cannot be ECM rushed. The final objectives in the security room cannot trigger while ECMs are up, and the point of no return timer is not long enough to complete everything after the jammers run dry. So this heist won't be rushed for XP and cash over and over again like Shadow Raid, but instead be a more meticulous and delicate operation. I'm personally a huge fan of this, although I feel the problem lies in ECMs being overpowered, and not in the heists being designed incorrectly. All in all, the yacht heist is one of the best stealth heists in the game and is my personal favorite. Moving on, let's check out the weapons this pack provides. First up being the Contractor 308 sniper rifle, fitting into the John Wick tie-in nicely. This rifle makes up for its lower end damage relative to the rest of its kin with a fast fire rate, good ammo pickup, swift reload, and record-breaking 20 mag capacity. Without damage increasing skills, this gun will still struggle to kill enemies on death wish and 1 down. However, you can easily get frenzy, silencer skills, or crits. That's right, this sniper is concealed enough to work in a dodge build. You can slip down to minimum detection risk using optical illusions and a handful of different secondaries, such as the Bernetti 9 or Micro Uzi. This makes for a very effective and entertaining build, and outclasses the Desert Fox in terms of dodge snipers. Honestly, I'm of the opinion that the Contractor 308 is one of the best sniper rifles in the game, provided you can take some skills to cover its lower damage stat. While snipers such as the R93 and Platypus have higher base damage, they also have a fourth of the mag capacity, much slower reloads, and can't be concealed enough to use in effective dodge builds. So if you can spare the points to improve your DPS, the Contractor will be a highly effective firearm both for players with and without armor. Lastly for weapons is the Hook Melee, which is surprisingly not complete garbage. The swing speed on this weapon is insane, you can output damage very quickly. However, melee is still, at the time of this video, mediocre. At least relative to the rest of the trash melee weapons littered through our arsenal, this one has something going for it. I wish it had a slightly higher base concealment, as it would then make for a fine dodge weapon, but ah well. Finally, let's check out the masks, all 4 of them. The names are all self-explanatory of what they're based on, being Bird of Prey, Captain, Lady Liberty, and Sailor. Not much to say about these masks. They look good, take to customizations well, and are all in all a good addition. And that's about it. So, would I recommend the John Wick Heists pack? For most players, I would. The Contractor Sniper is one of the best snipers in the current balance of the game for both dodge and armor players. Brooklyn 1010 has some problems for sure, but it's not terrible either. And some players will take the intense difficulty as a bonus. The Yacht Heist is what really makes this DLC for me. A beautiful set piece, creative objective, and catchy music makes this heist an excellent stealth experience again and again. However, some players are complaining about it being a stealth-only job. This is the first paid DLC that is included a mission that can only be completed in stealth, which a few players think devalues the worth of the heist. To those players I say, consider the plethora of loud-only heists that have been added to the game, and included as paid DLC. How must players who primarily play stealth feel about that, eh? Now you know. So, if you're a player who enjoys stealth at all, then I would absolutely recommend the John Wick Heists. If you're someone who only plays loud heists and dislikes Payday 2 stealth in its entirety, then the Brooklyn 1010 heist and Contractor just barely aren't enough to make this DLC worth it for you. Everybody else can safely pick up this pack and get their money's worth. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.